The word I'm talking about is Medea, M-E-D-E-A. Well, is actually a name. It's a name not of a historical person, but of a persona that came across from ancient classical mythology. With classical mythology, it's never easy to say that's the original version, that is the ancient Medea, because there simply isn't one original version. But probably the most well-known and most infamous version in which this Medea, this female figure whose very infamous features, is a tragedy by the Greek playwright Euripides, written in 431 BC. According to Euripides, Medea murdered her own children, the two boys, child boys that she had with the Greek hero Jason, from Jason and the Argonauts. She killed those two innocent children, not because they were naughty, but according to Euripides, out of revenge, because Jason brought her home from her barbarian homeland. Colchis brought this barbarian, strange women who could also do witchcraft and was very foreign and very alien, very alluring to him first. However, when he brought her home to his Greek homeland, she became an obstacle to his claim to power. She didn't quite fit in, and he decided that it would be better politically to marry the daughter of the ruling king, and Medea became obsolete and he wanted to divorce her, have her out of the country. And out of revenge to get to Jason, the husband who had taken her away from her home, Medea committed this very chilling infanticide. So it's got the true making of a story that's still very interesting, very attractive. It's about sex and love and crime, and the most horrific crime in our eyes, a mother killing her own children. If you look at, for example, crime stories, something like The Bill on British television, you have a lot of borrowings from these great stories from Greek mythology. The name of Medea is not as dominant in its usage as, for example, Venus, or when we talk about a Herculean effort, or to work like a Trojan. But if you dig a little bit deeper, and if you do your Google computer search and type in Medea, you find Medea in surprisingly a lot of associations as sort of the backdrop to a theme that occurs in advertising campaigns that look at something that makes women very aggressive in their looks, like the long fingernails or the snake embossed boots or something like that. But Medea is also being used to coin psychological factors like the Medea complex, where it's actually described as something that occurs sometimes in so-called high conflict divorces, where the mother is at risk of harming the children out of revenge, and that's where the story comes in to explain sociological problems of our day. It's also been used, interestingly, by geneticists as a name for a particular gene, abbreviated MEDEA, where the mother of the species actually eradicates certain genes that are not allowed to live on because they don't transport the right GNE, to explain it crudely. So if you dig deeper, this ancient, quite chilling myth still lives very much amongst us, and that is only in popular culture. If you look, of course, at literature and art, Medea is everywhere and presents us with very rich and chilling material. Medea is what can be called an oxymoronic character. It's a character who's not simply black and dark and evil. It's a character that brings to collision point black and white, contrasting elements. So yes, she is the infanticidal mother, but she also displays very, very caring and caressing and tender feelings for her children. So she's really drawn, and that makes her so attractive for us. She's not only somebody who can be put aside, oh, this is the mad woman who doesn't play an important role in our society. She has very much the sympathy of the women of Corinth, this Greek society in which she lives. The women of the chorus actually come to Medea and look up to her and say, yes, we understand your feelings, course, we understand that Jason has treated you very badly, and they actually criticize men and what they do to women. She kills her children with a dagger in most versions, so using something that is not really associated with how females usually kill. Usually females kill through poison or suffocation or something like that. She oversteps the boundaries between male and female here already by killing hands-on her children in most versions. What happens in Euripides? She isn't trialed as a murderer and sentenced as you would expect to restore the order. No. She escaped scot-free, and she escaped not by foot like a normal person, but in the spheres of the god, in a sort of dragon-drawn chariot. And not only does she escape scot-free, but she escapes to Athens, the pinnacle of power, to marry the Athenian king.